Hey everybody, so I am unboxing game box 25. So that means there's only one more to go after this. But this is a big one. It's a 5 cubic feet box. The last one's going to be a 4 cubic feet box, so the end is near. The only thing is my shelves are getting pretty full, so I don't know how we're going to do on that side. I haven't put tons on the top of the shelf yet, so hopefully they will fit. We may have to perform a small miracle here. And I do have the shelf in my office. I've put a few games in there, but we'll see how many more I can fit. So let's get started. First game I have in here is Colossal Arena. And this is an interesting game. It's a bidding game, and then it starts with the different monsters in this arena, and you can bid on which one you think will win. And you can bid at any time that you want, so you don't have to do it the first time. But it's worth more if you bid correctly earlier on. So, but if you bid incorrectly, then your bid is null and void because the monster doesn't make it to the next round. And you'll notice only so many kind of move forward. And the way that these monsters make it to the next round is depending on the cards that you play. And you'll kind of be playing cards trying to get yours to go ahead. So, interesting. Colossal Arena. Oh, it's a Reiner Knizia game, and I'm a big fan of Reiner Knizia. Then I have Legacy, The Testament of Duke to Chrissy, 5 Families, which is an extension that goes for the game Legacy, The Testament of Duke to Chrissy, which is interesting because you're building a family tree, trying to get the best marriages for your sons and daughters to get the most prestige into your family. So I don't know how this expansion changes anything. I haven't played this one yet, so it'll be interesting to give this one a try. Then I have Ride the Rail. Now I played this one online on Boardgame Arena, I believe, possibly. I mean, it was really, really interesting. And you kind of invest in the different train tracks, and then depending on how they get, kind of developed and stuff, I'm excited to play the actual physical version and see how that compares. But it was great online, so that's Ride the Rails. Then I have just a storage basket thing that I had on my game shelf, so probably will be putting these to use here as well. We'll see how it goes. Then I have, oh, this is a heavy one. The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. And this one looks super interesting. So there's a lot of little miniatures in here, but every player gets this little suitcase and you put your money in here. And there's depends on when you get to put your money in here, and once it's in here it's safe, or if it's in here it's not necessarily safe. And you have the map of New York, and then it's kind of an area control. From what I understand, this is going to be a mean game because you're taking each other's out. I don't know. I've never played it yet, but I'm really excited to give it a try. So that's The Godfather, Corleone's Empire. And then this is one of my most favorite game ever. I love Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born. Now, if you're buying this one now, it's going to be Ashes Reborn, Rise of the Phoenix Born, and it's a red box. They've revamped it. The characters are mostly the same. What's really neat about it is you kind of have the different characters you can play as. Each character has their own deck of cards. And then you'll be kind of have 2 sets of dice that you'll be playing with. And the dice is what will activate your different actions. So you roll all your dice, and depending on what you roll, there's the highest value, the middle value, the lowest value. Now the highest value could be used for any of the 3, while the middle one can only be used for the middle or the lowest, and the lowest is only the lowest value option. And depending on what you want to do, the action you want to activate, it'll require that you spend so many different dice on it, so you would kind of move them out of the way to spend them. So that kind of influence what you can activate and what you can do. You can put allies in your battlefield, you can put spells in your spell book, then you can cast spells and conjure monsters that are going to go into your battlefield. It is so neat, and it is Such a gorgeous, gorgeous game. I really love this one. That's Ashes, Rise of the Phoenix Born. Whoops. Then I have Legacy, the Testament of Duke de Cressy. So this is, as I talked about in the other one, so you're building a family tree. This is when you're playing the multiplayer version. If you're playing the solo version, you're actually digging into your past. So instead of like having children, marrying your children off and kind of branching out this way, you look at yourself, you look at your parents, and you're basically trying to find a rich relative in your family tree so that you can inherit a lot of money. And that's the solo variation. And then I have Kitchen Rush. Kitchen Rush is a real-time game, which means you're on the time, like you're being clocked and you gotta hurry up. So with this one is you're running a restaurant. So people are arriving, you gotta send them to the table, you gotta take their orders, and from that order you gotta go get the ingredients. Take the ingredient to the stove, cook it. You know, gotta get the proper plate to put everything onto the plate, and then depending on how intricate the cooking is for it, how many kind of cooking levels you gotta do, and then you have to season the food as well. And your players, this is like a worker placement, but your workers are little sand timers. So it requires so much time to accomplish each task, and you can't move them until they're done. It's such a neat, hectic game. Kitchen Rush. Then I have Fallout. Fallout is, it's based on a video game, but I've never played the video game. But this is a really neat kind of dungeon crawl. Not really dungeon though, but like it's a very story driven though. So as you kind of explore the map, you'll come across different things, and in the card it'll be like, oh, you come across a dog. Do you help the dog, or do you kick him and shoo him away? And depending on what you decide to do, different cards will get brought into the deck. And then the story is going to develop differently as you make the decisions. And then you have these different monsters that will go around, and you're rolling the dice when you're battling them, and they all have kind of a weakness spot. So your dice has like whether you've hit them in the head or in the chest or in the arm or in the legs. And then depending on where the weakest spot is where you need to hit each different monsters. It is so neat. I really enjoy this one, and that's Fallout. Then I have, oh, this is a big heavy one, Steampunk Rally, but this is a Tesla edition. I bought this one at the auction at FallCon, the first time I went to a FallCon, and this is a card drafting game, and it's also a engine building, and you will draft the cards and kind of put them together to create this building. Then you have dice that you're going to spend into your into your engine so that it can move forward. So the yellow dice are electricity, the blue dice is steam, and then the red dice is coal and fire. So they all get activated in different ways, but then you also have to clear the dice out once you're done, because they don't just go away. And you can spend the cog, which has little metal cogs in here, and it looks amazing. So you can spend cogs to vent out the dice out of there, and then once the space is available again, you can kind of start spending more dice to activate the actions again. It is such a neat racing game. I really like this one, and this is Steampunk Rally. Oh, then I have Legendary Encounters Alien. I really like Legendary Encounters. It's a deck builder game, and you're going around. So a monster gets brought out every time. With these ones, they're face down. You don't see them until you scan the room and you can reveal it. And depending on what it is, what you need to do, but you want to try to get rid of them if they're monsters or aliens before they reach this battle zone. Once they're in the battle zone, they just attack you every round until they're destroyed, so you want to destroy them. But this is so thematic. You can get a face hugger that attaches itself to your face, and while it's on there, it actually impregnates you with an alien if you don't get rid of it before your turn comes around. Then you get a chest burster that's going to be in your discard pile, but that doesn't matter because it's in the discard pile until you run out of cards. You got to shuffle your discard pile. That becomes your new deck, and now there's a chest burster in there somewhere, and when that comes out, your character dies. So you have to try to get the objective done before any of that happens and a character dies. Such a thematic, neat game. I really like it. And then I also have Legendary Predator. And you can actually combine the Predator and the Alien to do the Alien versus Predator movies. This plays pretty much the exact same way, but it's just Predator theme. And I enjoyed it so much, so I wanted to get this one as well. Ooh, there's some big ones in here. Oh. All right. Then I have Destinies, and Destinies looks amazing. I haven't played it yet. It is an app-driven game, so I mean, as you're playing, the app tells you kind of what's going on, and it's very story-driven that way as well. So you'll have the map, you'll be kind of revealing things, walking around, and you have 2 destinies that you're trying to accomplish, and then your main destiny. And what's neat with this one is most app-driven game I've seen have been cooperative, and it tends to be where one person controls everything and the other people just move their character when they're told to. With this one, it is not cooperative, so everybody kind of controls their own characters, will kind of do their own thing on the app when it's their turn. So I think this will be really interesting, and I'm really excited to get it played. Then I also have The Godfather: A New Dawn. And I really enjoyed this one. This is a dice worker placement. And you have like the map, and then you have a shield that you kind of hide behind and roll your dice, and then you select which dice you're going to activate. And it's an area control as well, so you kind of send your dice in a certain area, and then like, oh, why did you go there too? And it is very interesting. I've played this a few times, but a long time ago, so I really want to play this again to kind of renew the rules in my mind here. Then I also have Fog of Love. And I have not played this one yet. Now, this is a 2-player game, and you're kind of playing a relationship. And what does it say on here? So, the all-time favorite relationship simulator. Play the couple you always wanted to be. And you're just trying to kind of create a successful couple. So, it seems really interesting. I've heard great things about it. And I mean, look, the board looks really interesting, so I'm excited to give this one a try. So that's Fog of Love. Oh, it's heavy. Romantic comedy as a board game. Okay, this is gonna be cool. And then I have Quadropolis, and Quadropolis is a neat tile, kind of tile selection and tile playing. So the way that you put the things around the board kind of indicates which tile you're going to pick up, and then it also indicates where you're going to put them on your own board. It reminds me a bit of Meadow in that way, and then you're trying to kind of have things next to each other to activate each other and different things like that, and the way that it's going to score. It's pretty interesting. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a neat puzzly game to play. Okay, I'm going to take this smaller one here. I don't know how that fared. It's sticking out a little bit, but this is Alhambra. So I heard great things about this one, and I remember playing it the first time, and I was really impressed with it. And it's a tile placement game, so you have all these little tiles that you're building a Alhambra, I guess, and which I think is like a village square. So you'll have the different things that different tiles you're playing. But what's really interesting is that each tile has a different designated currency to it. And so it's like builders from different country, and they want to be paid by their home currency. So you're collecting these different currency, and then you're spending them to build these tiles, and you gotta have the matching tile. Now you also cannot make change. So if you manage to pay the exact price, then you get a bonus for that. If you totally knocked that down. If you don't, then you don't get the bonus, but you're also overpaid. You don't get any change. It's a really neat game. I played it the first time, as I mentioned, and then I was like, oh, okay, I can tell I'm gonna like this. And you could just tell right away there's something, because this is an old game. This was Spiller's Yard back in 2003. It's 2022 now, so it's tested it's done well. So So sorry about this. It was all over the place. I couldn't close the box lid again. So this is Alhambra it's a Queen's game, so really cool. Okay, I'm just gonna put this aside. We'll put it aside. So the other games I have are really big, so they're gonna be a little difficult to lift out of here, so bear with me. All right, and I have Kingdom Rush. And Kingdom Rush is a tower defense game. So you get these different towers and you strategically place them on the map, and then when things starts coming to it, they'll attack in certain ways. And you're trying to kind of beat the scenario by acquiring the different towers and putting them strategically so that things don't get through. I mean, seems to me this was like an app that the games my kids would play, and this is just the game version of it. But like, look at the size of this box; it's massive. So this is a big box. This was actually the last game I played I purchased in 2001. I actually bought it on New Year's Eve. So Kingdom Rush. And then I have one more game in here, and it's another big one, so let me pull this out. All right, and this is Mansion of Madness 2nd edition. This is a Cthulhu themed game, another horror game, and I really like these ones for some reason. I don't know why, because I mean, I'd never watched horror movies as a kid. I was too terrified to. Gremlins scared me so much I couldn't even do that one, so let alone like actual horror movies, but I guess I like them in board games. And this is an app driven one, and you go around, and what's really neat, like, it's not random. Like, you'll kind of get to a room and you go to the next one, and it tells you exactly which one to bring out, what's in there, where the different items are, and then you're kind of trying to figure out how to beat the game, because it's not necessarily clear up front. Like, you gotta explore and figure out what you need to do. The first time we played, we totally didn't get what we were trying to do, and we're avoiding what was like the way to win for half the game. And I was like, oh, we're actually supposed to do that. This is helping us. Okay. And then, so it was interesting, but it's interesting that, you know, like there's an element of discovery to it. So this was the last game for this box. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the very last box to unbox, and then I'll be doing the big reveal of what my board game room looks like and how it's all installed and organized. And I'm excited for that. So bye everybody. Oops.